Episode 22. Wow, we are here, guys. It is Wednesday, hump day, as they say.
Hump day.
After seems to be the most boring race of the season and many other seasons. Maybe history?
Most boring race I've ever watched,
Okay.
I think.
So definitely a boring race. We'll get into it. My name is Will.
My name is Aiden. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, dude, Monaco. Wow. Shocker. Because,
Yeah?
I say that, of course, everyone knows Monaco is, on a Sunday, is boring. It's a parade, almost. But usually there's a little bit of pit stop here and there. There's a little bit of strategy. There's a dive bomb here or there.
Sure.
Got none of that.
Someone in the water.
Got none of that at all. Kind of someone in the water. That boat crash.
The boat? Yeah. I was
Boat
thinking a
crash.
driver. Yeah, I mean, just the stat that everyone's talking about. No position changes in the top 10. First time in history. You heard that? Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Which is just outlandish and boring. And I think the only overtakes were it was Bottas overtook Logan. I want to say maybe Zhou overtook someone. It was a bunch of bullshit when everyone was down in the back. I think it was people were on different tires and it was just boring.
Do you think there were less than 10?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think it was 3 or 4.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. Not counting the crashes.
Yeah.
Those changing.
In race overtakes.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating because it's the crashes were, pretty exciting. Saw some shocking moves. But then it just with the red flag, I feel like that shouldn't count as your pit stop change.
Yeah.
Because then they're just going to go to the end on those tires.
Yeah, I've listened to a few things about this. My problem is I think if you're going to do Monaco, you make it a 2 or 3 stop mandatory race.
That's what I've come to the conclusion of too.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what the drivers are saying, from what other content creators are saying, I think that's the only way to spice it up. Because you can't really change the track.
No.
You could change the last corner, first corner, maybe a little bit, and make that more widen it. I don't know. I don't see that happening. So just having that strategy battle would help a lot.
Yeah, I think it could also be an interesting thing. If you just keep the track the same and make it a 3-stop mandatory race, it's let's say you do have that red flag again. Okay, there's one, but then you still have 2 others, and then it becomes a race known for pit stop strategy, which I guess it already is, but even more so because you're going to have 3-2 no matter what.
Also, with the mandatory stops, it's like what we saw in
Qatar,
where they're basically just doing quali lap after quali lap.
Yeah,
which is
pushing.
Electric. And around Monaco, if that's what you have to do to stay in the front, that's awesome. You're really pushing the track and shows how good of a driver you are.
Also, if it's let's say it's 3-stop mandatory, which I don't think they would do. That sounds like a lot.
2. I think 2 is a good one. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say 2. Then maybe you're using the hards, but someone could be using softs, someone could be using mediums, someone could be using hards. It's it's a bunch of different stuff, which would spice it up even more.
Yeah. Or you have to use all 3.
Oh, you make
tires,
it you need to use.
And you do a 2-stop mandatory.
Oh, that would be
so
spicy.
It's you gotta pick it at the right time, and you would probably save your softs for the end because if a safety car comes out, you want those in the rotation.
True.
I don't know. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it's not I think personally I'm the kind of guy that's I'm a purist in a lot of ways, and including racing and most sports. That's why I like soccer a lot, is because it's a very simple and pure sport. So usually in terms of F1, I'm less rules the better. No mandatory pit stops, no whatever. But in this case, you kind of got to do something if you want to keep it relevant.
Yeah, I agree with the keep it pure, but what's DRS?
Yeah.
I
mean, but yeah, that's just part of the sport at this point.
Yeah, but it's it's not anything new to add a little gimmick here and there to improve the racing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm definitely not against it. And if it's one track out of the year that you're doing that, who cares? Like we need to, if we're gonna stay in Monaco, we need to do something. And why not try it out after that?
Yeah.
Because I think maybe if you did this last year after we had actually a decent race in Monaco that I enjoyed, and then they're like, we're gonna throw in a mandatory 2-stop, I think a lot of people would be like, that's ruining the sport.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is like the perfect case study of let's do it. And I think everyone else would be on board. I also want to point out though too, tires shouldn't last that long.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, wasn't George Russell on mediums the whole race?
Yeah, like I think the tires are too good then if you're able to, on a high downforce track, extend that long.
Yeah, I mean, the hards, I kind of get it. But the mediums, like if you're going, and he didn't get overtaken, which is crazy. I thought George would maybe get past.
Well, yeah, he had Max behind him on fresh tires.
Yeah.
And like the commentators were like setting it up and then just nothing happened.
You get the AWS overtake estimate or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be like attack in 1 second or 2 laps or whatever it is. But yeah. But yeah, that's a good point. Tires should not be that good.
Yeah, and then also just like once the cars get a little smaller, which they're talking about for the new regulations,
They got to be.
then maybe you can take it away. You know, it's just like a little substitute.
Why not? We do. It's like people don't remember that there's so much shit that they add. Like even like sprint races. I don't love sprint races in terms of purity and just like historical reasons, but it's fun.
It's fun.
We've gotten a lot of good.
It's a sport, dude. And if it's the same rules for everyone, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like also that's where the money comes in. If everyone stops watching it because they're not interested, then there's going to be less money, and everyone loves money.
Yeah.
Not to be that guy, but it is part of it.
I'm almost a fan just for mandatory 2-stops on all the tracks. Because tire saving sucks in a race. Like, and you can just see it coming, and then once it's there, you're just like, nothing you can really do.
Okay, so are we saying this includes a red flag? So red flag included.
No, that would allow them to change it, and that could count as changing your tires once.
Okay.
So that would be part of it. So they would, if a red flag hit, they would just need to do it one more time.
Okay. Because you could also make the argument that it needs to be a 1-stop, not including red flag pit stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I would, or
is that
100% down with that. It's kind of hard to say with the red flag though, because like it could come at the beginning, but it also could come at the end.
Yeah.
So then that just kind of doesn't make sense if you didn't do your pit stop yet, and then it came at the end, and you're like, wait, so the red flag hit, but that doesn't count as my pit stop, so I have to pit again after the red flag, because then it kind of gets into that. So I think if anything, it would just count as one.
Yeah, just call it two. Call it two. If there's 2 red flags, then so be it.
Yeah, and I'm sure all those strategists are 10 times smarter than all of us combined. So
what? Thinking of ideas?
Just like prepping for the worst case scenario. So they would. I think if it did change, they'd be on top of everything.
Sure.
So I feel like there'd be less of people getting screwed than what some people think when they change the rules like that. Because that's a concern.
Yeah. Yeah, the Carlos thing's kind of crazy.
With what?
The lock up turn 1. Or no, was it turn 1?
Yeah. It was.
Or like turn 2 maybe?
No, it was the top, by the casino. So like, turn 2 or 3. I don't know.
That was insane. I was like, oh, fuck.
He's done. But then he gets it back because they didn't complete a whole lap.
Yeah. So that's kind of insane.
I forgot about that.
Someone was asking like, what the hell? Like what? I think it was Leo.
Yeah.
Leo was like why? Or no, I think it was Nick. Nick was like, how does that make sense? And at the time I'm like, yeah, it is kind of fucking bullshit kind of.
Well, it's more like once the red flag comes out, if 2 cars are side by side, it reverts back to their original position. So it's like, I think that's kind of why that rule's in place, is because you could have, let's say you just dive bombed someone, got ahead for a tiny bit, red flag comes out. You shouldn't gain that position.
Okay.
Because you're still fighting for that position. So it's easier for them just to be like back to what it was.
At that start of when they cross the finish line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is definitely kind of weird, but I think that's the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
Because I think if you just have someone go through, be like, he's here, it would take longer, and then also just they would screw up every once in a while.
We need a black and white answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt strange. Like, oh, he made a mistake, then he just got blessed, and now he's back in third or whatever. I think he was third, right?
And got that podium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boring.
Also, let's just cover all the lap 1 incidents.
Sure.
That Checo crash, K-Mag, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. Race ban him.
Honestly, that definitely changes my my thinking for the driver market. I could see them getting rid of him.
It's
like,
yeah. I mean,
like if you're crashing the car that much,
and then it also takes your teammate out, which is like worst case scenario.
Yeah,
which everyone hates. I'm surprised they didn't give him like some sort of penalty.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it's because they don't want to ban him.
That's bullshit, though.
No,
it just makes no sense.
Then there's why are you even doing penalty points?
Yeah,
and I know P1 pointed out a really good comparison, which Alonso got 3 penalty points in China's sprint race when he was side by side with Carlos.
Oh yeah,
and that was a nothing incident.
Yeah, that's more of a racing incident than like most stuff.
He pushed him off a little bit wide, and they continue to race.
Yeah,
and you get 3 penalty points for that. And then K-Mag crashes out 2 drivers for an arguably stupid spot to like battle and gets nothing.
Yeah, but then it brings back the whole thing, like, you know, like the lap 1 shit.
Yeah, but
like if it's lap 1, maybe your tires aren't warm, your brakes aren't warm.
But that's not even a lap 1 incident, I feel like, because it was conscious. He's like, I'm just going to stick it up the inside here. Because like I would say lap 1 incidents are like what you said, if you lock up, that's like less bad than what K-Mag did.
Hamilton in China.
Yeah, it's like,
Lance,
that's just
maybe.
Like, it's just different.
It's a shame. It's quite a shame.
Quite a shame.
Because I'm pretty indifferent about K-Mag. I'm not a fan. I'm not a hater.
I agree.
But yeah, you need to see. But it's annoying because he's been on my nerves because it just affects so many other people, and that's what I don't like. I don't care if he crashes and, you know, goes into the gravel, whatever. But it's like takes out Checo and then also Nico, who I like.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of.
I think the most extreme that it should be is him in the sprint race in Miami. You can remember when he was battling with Hamilton and stuff. Like, that was really hard racing, but they kept it clean and gave back positions if they went off track.
I do remember that.
But then you saw in the race, he took it too far and crashed out Logan.
Yes, that's the same thing where it's like, that's just not your corner, dude.
That's not how that works.
That's not
like,
you.
I had a tire on his right rear. I'm like, no, that's.
And even if you do, and even if that is like technically what is allowed, it's like you're not going to get out of that, and Checo's not going to let you through there.
They've been racing their whole lives. You know that you don't get that corner there.
It's also Monaco.
Yeah,
you're in 2024 cars,
and he's in a Red Bull. So
yeah, he's in a Red Bull.
Chill out.
He's not going to let you pass, guy.
It's just frustrating, like you said. Yeah, and just frustrating from the FIA. Ban him. Get Ollie in there.
Insta-ban.
Get Ollie in there.
Honestly. Yeah, it's strange. So he had, what, two more points until he's banned?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it might even be like 1.
I think it might have been 2 or 3, I thought.
Yeah.
I would have been okay if they were like, okay, we're gonna give him 1 more point. This is the last straw. If one more thing happens, he's banned. But they didn't give him anything.
No.
I would have been like, okay, they gave him. He's at 9. What is it out of 10?
Yeah, it's out of 10.
And like, so if they brought him to 9, it would be kind of a statement like, hey, we know what's happening. We don't really want to ban him, but we're gonna put him here. If one more thing happens, he's gonzo.
I feel like also though too, the FIA needs to figure out how to give points. It should be like a clear, like if you crash someone out and it's clearly your fault, you get 2 points.
Yeah.
If you push someone wide, that's like 1 point. But it's like, of course there could be some I don't know in between those, but like you gotta like not just throw 3 here, 0 there. Like there should be some more transparency in why the calls are what they are.
Like some pretty defined lines.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
back to the soccer argument. It's such defined lines that's like, oh, if he's that much more in front of him when the pass goes off, it's offsides. Like it's kind of hard to compare because each incident's different and each track is different, but I think they could definitely lay it down better.
Yeah, they definitely could. I remember Alonso at Australia for letting up. What did you think about that? I don't remember. He did take like a different line or something.
Yeah, he pressed the brake and let off the gas.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that all race. Yeah, we went into that.
But then he got like 3 penalty points, didn't he?
I think that's like max 2 because it's like that's still George just kind of just crashing in the dirty air. If anything, it's just kind of like a little cheeky move, a little bit of elbow, which I like.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm fine with that. A little bit of elbow grease.
Yeah, you're not. It's not contact. It's not forced contact.
Exactly. It's not contact.
Yeah, and like so, I think, like I said, if they were to have set rules because they didn't make contact, that would have been a maximum 2 points for Alonso. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Should we get into the Alpine stuff?
Yeah,
I got some opinions.
Let's hear them.
So my opinion. So Bruno Famine, is that how you pronounce it?
I actually don't know.
I think
Team principal of Alpine.
Team principal of Alpine. Famine.
That doesn't sound right.
I think it is. Famine?
Famaggio.
No, I think it's Bruno Famine. Famin. I don't know. Who cares? He comes out with a statement that's translated. I mean, a lot of air quotes this episode.
Yeah.
That's translated and it sounds pretty brutal. Like consequences are gonna happen, shit like that. And everyone's talking about, will Esteban Ocon race in Canada? Some people are saying like he might be replaced next year or like halfway through the season. It's like I will bet like $1,000 he's in Canada racing.
Oh yeah, they're not going to kick him out.
No, they're not giving Jack Doohan the seat as much as he seems like a cool guy. They're not doing that right now. Just not in the position to do that. And it wasn't even that bad.
It was not great though.
It wasn't great.
Like that's another one where it's just like you clearly don't do that on your teammate. And it's like when you take that corner and you're next to your teammate, the last thing you want to do is understeer wide into him.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. It's also like Monaco. You're in points. You're Alpine.
Yeah.
It's one thing if that was like 19-20 position, but that's Pierre in points. Esteban must have been in 11th at the time.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. They might have both been in points.
No, because it never changed. And and Pierre started 10. So they were 10 and 11.
No, but because I think he got gifted that Carlos Sainz spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
True. So okay, they were 9 and 10.
Yeah.
And they fucked it.
Yep.
Which wouldn't have stood, but still. It's just not the time. It's not the track. It's not the time. It's not the place to be overtaking your teammate.
Thank God Pierre could continue to race too.
I was like pretty nervous there.
Like if both went out, he'd be in deeper shit.
Yeah, that would have been really bad.
But yeah, back to the quote. I would say a lot of that is heat of the moment stuff. A lot of that is just to get Esteban thinking about changing his ways.
Yeah.
It's like every coach does that in sports.
Just a little.
Like if a player's acting up, they'll say it to the press just so it's like on their mind. And it's true. It's true. It's like I've heard it before. Like it's just a way to like almost parent him.
Yeah. Just kind of get him in his head.
And that's like fucking the last thing Alpine needs is another change in their whole shifting blob of a Formula 1 team.
That's what I'm thinking. It's not like Esteban got points at Imola? Or no, maybe the week before.
Yeah, week before, I think. I don't know.
He got points recently, though. I think it was Imola.
I keep forgetting about them.
So I think Esteban got points in Imola. Pierre got points at Monaco. They're on the upslope.
They're starting to solve their weight issue. Yep.
Yeah, they're looking less clunky. They qualified pretty well. They both made it to Q2. Pierre made it to Q3. I think Esteban was like probably 12 at the time or 11 maybe. I don't really know. But they're on the upslope, and the last thing they need is to, like, get Jack Doohan in there and, like, crash the car and cost them millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But
because Canada's a hard track too, so that'd be a hard one to get thrown into. A lot of walls.
okay,
A lot of chicanes.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of just people are escalating the drama where he's gonna get suspended from or like they're gonna bench him. They're not benching him.
No, he'll be fine. But I could see them kicking him out of Alpine at the end of the year if he keeps it up though. Like if he's that hard to manage and that sketchy of a teammate, then they might just not want to deal with it at all.
Yeah, because Miami. You remember Miami side by side?
Yeah,
first
that
lap?
was impressive.
That was crazy.
Dude. That was impressive.
That was a recipe. I was like, this is it.
I'm like, this is gonna happen. I'm like, right here, surely they can't, like, onto the main straight, that last turn, I'm like, surely they can't go side by side there.
Netflix is just like writing down the race and the time. They're like, oh, this is perfect.
Oh, it's gonna be a whole episode already.
Oh yeah.
We're not even close to halfway through the season. They already got a storyline for Alpine.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfect for them.
Yeah, it might be like 3 episodes of Alpine. Because you got the management, you got the teammate battles.
True.
Who knows what's happening next?
What if they get super good too? Then they're battling for like podium positions.
Damn. No.
They would just do a show.
Andretti buys
Alpine, a Netflix series. I would totally watch that.
That'd be hilarious.
It'd be super dramatic.
That's what people were saying about Haas back in the day. They're like, just have a Haas fucking show.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't watch it now.
No.
It'd be pretty boring.
They're so boring right now, that team.
They're just like dads.
Yeah. It's just get Daniel Ricciardo in there, man. Spice it up.
People loved it.
Spice it up.
People loved it.
One of your best takes ever.
Yeah. We'll see. If that happens,
that'd be pretty sick. Also, for speaking of shorts, when it was did you see how I did the poll on the Instagram for the Charles one? Where it's like you can vote 8 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
But I realized I put my name second and your name first, but I talked first in the video and you talked second. So I bet you people voted for you thinking it was me.
Yeah,
so
vice versa.
You definitely won that.
No, but I thought I just thought no one knows who we are. Like, you don't know our names.
I just thought they'd go like first impression, second impression, which is probably what I thought and what they probably put down. But it got like 20 something polls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And who won?
And the second one was pretty favored. It was my name, but it was second in it. So I was just thinking.
I think yours was better.
Yeah,
yours had more heart.
It was more accurate, I would say.
Yeah, probably.
Because it was just him screaming at the start.
True.
Like, just that alone.
True.
Yeah, I was slightly underwhelmed with Charles's celebration almost.
Really?
Like, I thought it'd be a little bit more. Like, I guess we didn't really even see the final podium because it cut out because it went over the time thing. So maybe it was, but like, I expected him like dumping the champagne on his head at the end and like tearing up a little bit. And I do want to say, did you hear the Alex Jakes commentary on his last lap?
No.
It was really, really good.
Emotional.
It was like, he's like, on the entire last lap, he's like, Charles Leclerc, he told the story of his father. And then he went into, he saw these grandstands being built.
I think I did hear this.
And they rise for him as he wins in Monaco. And it was so well said. So shout out to Alex Jakes. That was
shout out, man.
Yeah, super cool.
When he went into his team though after he won, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
he just dove in.
Dude, it's so dumb that those guys just have to like stand there locked arms. It's like
come on.
They definitely just want to get on the celebration and
they're like laughing and stuff.
Yeah. And then I guess I saw a side by side of Lando on the podium, him on the podium, and they're both just like so relieved and like taking it in, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it made me, I don't want to say emotional, but like kind of did when I was sitting here.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I was like, just for him as a person because I like him so much, and home race, just all the history, everything about it. I was like, this is just a great sports moment.
Yeah.
And this is what we live for.
Dude, crazy that we've had Lando win, Charles win in Monaco, championship back on.
Yeah. Should we go into standings at all? Because they're kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm down to go to standings.
Yeah.
While we're pulling it up, I also want to say that I was surprised about McLaren's pace here. Because they kind of went into it saying like they're not good in the slow speed. And Oscar P2, Lando, what was he, P4? I think that's a better result than what they thought they're going to get, which I think's showing that car will be able to compete at any type of track this season.
I partially disagree. I think it's good because they did do well, but it's a completely different race, or it's a completely like obscure race because they qualified well, obviously, which is great. Lando qualified well, Oscar qualified very well, but they didn't have to manage at all. It was like because they didn't pit, they pretty much just did their laps and that's it.
Yeah, I
Just
mean
like
you're
cruise.
managing the whole time, but I would say like they had, if not equal to faster pace than Ferrari in the race, because like Oscar would not at the end, but he was like on Charles for a lot of that race. Lando was on Carlos. Like I think it looked pretty well.
It looked good. I just don't think it's like concrete evidence that they're good in the slow speed.
No, it's like, well, they're definitely like, so it's like Miami, higher speed,
sure,
good,
sure.
Imola, medium speed,
Sure.
good. Monaco, low speed, they did good. That's like 3 different separate races since the upgrade where they've all been there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like a true race where they were like getting overtaken and stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think there is something to be said about it.
There's something to be said, and just the qualifying itself. Like Oscar qualifying P2.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Dog. But yeah, and then it's like, I understand what you're saying, but like a big part of me thought after Miami, they're just going to kind of go back to third, but they haven't really.
Yeah, they've been doing great. So yeah, read me some, what do you want to do, constructors or?
Constructors is spicy.
Yeah, give me that spice. I'm hungry.
Yeah, so we got 276 Red Bull up front, and then we have Ferrari at 252.
Wow.
Right there.
Dude. That's
right
like, what,
there.
34?
That's I'm not going to do the math, but
that's crazy, dude.
Checo, feeling the heat.
Yeah. And what's cool about that is like, we've seen that Checo has not been a podium driver for the past, pretty much the whole season.
No, he was at the start.
Okay, sure. But he hasn't been like pulling his weight, obviously. So if you just get those 2 Ferrari drivers, just steady Eddie guys, just keep like, going.
Not even winning many races, but just getting on the podium.
Just give me like a few 2-3s, like 2-4, whatever.
Yeah.
And then just kind of keep going, keep chugging away. We could see a Ferrari constructors win, possibly McLaren.
McLaren's a bit further back. They're at 184.
Yeah,
but
that's a big difference.
I don't know if they do the same thing. I mean, over the course of the season, it's gonna level out. So
yeah, especially if Checo just does dog shit.
Yeah,
and like scores like just 3 points every race. It's like,
yeah, like it could get to the point where it could just be like a 3-way battle, and it's like if you D in enough, you drop a bit, and then like try to make your way back. And
yeah, an occasional win for McLaren or Ferrari. Just sprint race 2.
Feels good. Feels like Formula 1's kind of back, baby.
Are we back?
Are we back?
Are we back?
Yeah, and then drivers, Max is at 169 and Charles is at 138. So still quite a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
Lando's in third at 113, right next to Carlos at 108, and then Checo's at 107 in 5th place.
Wow. That's just not good.
Yeah, and Carlos missed a race, so that's also a factor, and Checo's been there the whole time in a Red Bull.
Yeah, and even if he didn't crash at Monaco, he wouldn't have scored points. I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah, I mean he screwed himself at the start, so it's like I wouldn't even factor that in as like, because Carlos he couldn't control. Have you heard that there's talks that Red Bull is gonna re-sign Checo for 2025 soon?
Really?
Which I don't know how much of that is just them trying to protect him from the media for his bad performances, or if it's true, why are they doing it so soon? Why not wait? He's not going anywhere. And then you're just basically saying no to Carlos right away.
Yeah, I think the weird thing is, like, if they don't win the constructors, you got to get rid of Checo.
I agree.
Because I think obviously driver championship is probably more important. Like, would you agree?
Yeah.
Just kind of.
Well, from the team boss's point of view, it's definitely the constructors.
And just
because that brings in more money for the team.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's true. But just like as a team, like if you're Red Bull, or like remember when Max won in 2021?
Yeah.
No one remembers Mercedes winning that constructors year.
Well, that's a little bit different, I'd say, because they upset them. It was more like they were never going to be winning that constructors. Mercedes had the better car for most of the season. And it's just like that was the first non-Mercedes win in 7 years.
Yeah, but you kind of see what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think as a spectacle, it's always the drivers' championship everyone looks to. But I think as a team, like a team boss, you want that constructors more than anything.
Yeah. But so if they're not winning the constructors, got to get rid of Checo.
Yeah,
IMO.
You're just costing money.
Yeah, and it's like you're in a Red Bull. Max is doing fine. Give that to Carlos, and he's like on the podium.
Give that
probably
to Yuki, dude.
Whoa.
I heard
that kind of just like made me feel turned on.
Yeah. All right, man. Chill out.
All right, sorry guys. Sorry. Don't clip that.
Yeah, I mean, I heard, forget what I was watching. I think I was watching the Race YouTube channel, and they brought it up too. They're like, Yuki's literally doing everything he has to do, but for some reason, Christian Horner just can't wrap his head around him being a Formula One driver, and a Red Bull driver. And with Honda leaving, he could just honestly just be kicked out, which is crazy.
It's kind of crazy. I don't believe it.
I mean, like,
I don't believe it.
Maybe not kicked out, but like they will just keep him at RB. And if they are just going to keep him and he has no shot at the Red Bull seat, then why would he stay there?
Yeah, and just go to like another team.
Aston Martin.
Yeah, but dude, Aston Martin's not looking hot.
Yeah, but it's a better prospect.
Yeah, more growth opportunity.
Because RB's always going to be that second team. They're not going to be fighting for podiums like ever, unless like it's a freak incident.
Yeah, and I think F1 wouldn't let RB be a good team because you can't have Red Bull and RB be the two best teams.
You think they would stop them?
Yeah.
How?
Just separate them. Like, don't allow any contact. Think about the other teams. Ferrari and McLaren, Aston Martin. Everyone would come to him and be like, this is not right to have two teams.
Yeah.
Like, and if they're dominating or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do keep it pretty separate currently.
Yeah, I think they do. They do. They legally have to.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, definitely.
But you kind of see what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I think they would look.
People would
look into it more for sure.
Find something,
and they would find something. They would find something for sure, dude.
They'd find some emails. I want to see those emails.
Dick pic here and there, you know.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, they'd find some emails for sure.
Christian Horny.
Christian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, folks.
That was my Mark Norman joke.
Christian Horny.
Christian Horny. Joe Rogan in the background.
Can't do it.
Yeah. And then
he can't help himself.
Canada, I want to say for next race.
We can't get too into it though.
I know, not too into it. Okay. But I think it's kind of an unfortunate sequence in the calendar because you go Imola, tight track, Monaco, extremely tight, Canada, tight track.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think Canada's very similar to Imola, where it's like it's a tough track. It's cool to see a Formula One car go around it in qualifying. Not good racing. No.
I took a glimpse at it. I don't know Canada that well, but it's kind of the same thing as Imola, where it's like there's a lot of turns, there's a lot of short turns. It's not necessarily high speed because there's not like a super long straight, right?
It's pretty high speed.
Okay, maybe it is. Maybe I'm dumb. But yeah, it seems like Imola, where it's like doesn't look like a good racetrack. Like give me Brazil, something. Give me like a good looking circuit.
Give me a flowing wide track circuit.
Yeah, give me something that flows.
Why is it so hard?
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. Give me a whiteboard.
I could do it.
Yeah, we can make.
Give
some
me Minecraft
bangers. Yeah, yeah. That'd be tough, but
I think we could do a better job than them.
Yeah, just can we get like a good track for racing, not just like.
And it's just like easy. Just look at the good ones. Silverstone, Interlagos. I don't even know what else, dude. Japan's great. Yep. Hungaroring is great, but make it a little bit wider.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Make it bigger.
Update it. I don't know.
Zandvoort's
too tight.
Yeah, but it's cool though.
They got that bank turn, which is sick to see overtakes on.
Also, I'm just from Grand Prix. I just love it.
Yeah, turn 1-2 at Zandvoort's pretty good because it's like it's wide enough where you can go side by side pretty easy around that.
Okay. Yeah, make it wider.
Yeah, Canada is also just tough because it's like I think they're pretty limited by space again.
Okay.
Because it's like on an island in a park area. And it's just like what are you doing?
Come on, guys.
What are you doing?
There should be some ratio that the FIA makes that it's like if the car width is this size, the track needs to be this wide the entire time at least. Like some golden ratio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they just don't care about that. It's all about the money and
but there should be something like that.
Yeah. Like when the cars are this big, you want a fat track.
Yeah, give me a big it needs to be
give me the biggest track.
Relative or
like a good ratio.
Yeah, a good ratio, whatever. Give me a beef stock. Indy 500, F1.
Good
That'd be
beef
sick.
stew. Just a good beef stew. Indy race. Should we talk about that real quick?
Oh.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Last
I'm
lap.
Pretty bummed, dude.
Award, dude.
He went too early. But what do I know? I don't know shit about Indy. Seemed like he went too early though.
Yeah, I agree. But hindsight, man. When that lead is there to take, you kind of got to do it.
Well, we saw him lift. Remember that? He kind of lifted?
Yeah, he was waiting a bit, but it's tough.
I was playing iRacing and I did what we're talking about, whereas last lap, and I was like, I know I can get him on the straight, so I'm just going to wait. And I didn't take my overtake opportunity, fucked up the last turn, lost, or got second or whatever.
I've done that before. Yeah, because it's like, you kind of just got to do it. Because you can kind of, I think in iRacing a lot of time, you kind of block on that last turn, kind of fuck them up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's just like a lot of stress.
Pulling Alonso's, take a little too slow and just catch him wide.
Yeah, but I've been there, Pato. Exact situation. I know exactly how you feel, man.
Exactly.
I probably know it more than you. I probably know it better than you. I know that feeling.
Yeah, and then I guess we should touch on this stuff.
Oh yeah, a lot of stuff to touch.
So,
don't touch it.
A lot of stuff to touch. So podium, it was 4-2 this weekend. I got a little extra point because I picked Charles winning the race instead of Max Verstappen.
Yep.
And it hit, so that's a little bonus point.
He won. He guessed Charles pole, Charles win, and Charles best race. So
I knew
bullshit.
I knew the prophecy, dude. I knew the prophecy. I should have put all my money on Charles winning.
That would have been insane.
That would have been crazy. Even just like Ferrari winning team, that was plus 350. That would have been so much money.
Or no, you would have had 45 in the end.
Yeah,
you'd be well up. But that's all hindsight, isn't it?
No, it is.
What did I get? I got Carlos podium, and then I had Piastri good race, which I'll take. I'm taking that.
I gave it to you. I gave it to you.
He did very well. Great qualifying.
Yep.
And managed well.
And then fantasy, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, come on.
I think I was down like 200 almost. 7-point game here.
I got 8 points this week.
Yeah, I had Chuck, I had McLaren, I had Ferrari. Nico and Esteban crashing out kind of fucked it, or else I would have literally been the best fantasy player in the world. But
maybe. Did you double Charles?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, of course.
I had I had Esteban, I had Hulkenberg, and I had Haas.
And Max Verstappen.
And Max, who had double time.
Max is so washed. It's crazy.
Wash. Max Verstappen.
And then betting, I won $12.
Yeah, big week for Aiden.
Bet a lot on Charles, a lot on Ferrari. I had a little Yuki points sneaky bet in there. I had an Oscar
bet.
podium in there.
That was a good bet, man.
It was just all around. Thanks, man. Just all around. I saw it coming this weekend somehow.
Yeah. I think I won like $4, which I'll take. I could have won more. I could have been in the positive, but no, I clicked the wrong name.
As he says, you never know.
That's true. What if I was like lying about it? Why would I pick Checo over Oscar?
You never know. McLarens were supposed to not be that good here.
Oscar was I had Oscar winning the race, and I had him best race.
Yeah, obviously I believe you.
But yeah, great betting week for the both of us. That's probably the most we've won in a while.
You're close, dude. You're close.
I can feel it.
I gotta really, for next weekend, really just not get ahead of myself and go deeper. I think I gotta now that I'm almost within $10, I just gotta play it safe until I'm back to even.
Yeah, I think if you, I would play it safe, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it. But I mean, you did well this weekend, but also it was a very straightforward race.
Yeah, I'm feeling McLaren next weekend. A little preview for the people.
Okay,
sounds nice. Cool. Anything else you want to say?
No, nothing much.
Yeah, I just looked at my notes. We covered everything.
Cool.
Fuck yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Episode 22.
Leave a comment. We'll read it on the next pod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Austin Butler.